Vamos então agora começar o início das sessões e antes de começarmos gostaria de, em meu nome, Carolina e toda a equipa da Confederação de Treinadores, a Cláudia, o Marco, a Mariana, estamos todos vestidos a Marlim e a todos os corpos sociais também aqui presentes e que também somos todos o vosso anfitrião. Foi um orgulho preparar este congresso para vocês. Acreditamos, como eu disse há pouco, que vai proporcionar momentos de partilha para poder termos aqui preletores que vos vão inspirar, provocar a reflexão e partilhar experiências únicas. Nós somos realmente um congresso único, uma vez que juntamos treinadores de todas as modalidades. Todas as vossas modalidades têm os vossos congressos específicos que trabalham questões mais técnicas, mais da vossa modalidade, mas este realmente fala da classe dos treinadores. Nós temos hoje até aqui o privilégio de ter um treinador internacional, que depois já vamos apresentá-lo, mas realmente foi um orgulho trazer aqui assim, e normalmente tentamos trazer pessoas que estão muito ligados ao treino, sejam às vezes investigadores, sejam treinadores, mas acreditamos que esse é uma oportunidade única para vocês e peço que estejam muito vivos, quer nas sessões, quer nos momentos de pausa. Relembramos apenas também que isto é um congresso que tem dupla certificação, portanto, o treinador muitas vezes é professor de educação física, portanto tentamos sempre, através da CNAPEF, que é a nossa parceira nesta acreditação, portanto criar a dupla acreditação para treinadores de desporto e também para professores de educação física. Já sabem que quer no início têm que registar-se com a colega Mariana e Cláudia, mas também depois do almoço também voltar a registar-se para terem todos os créditos e podermos aliar o útil ao agradável, portanto, dentro daquilo que é a formação com também a obtenção de créditos. Realmente, para iniciarmos então a primeira sessão do painel do nosso congresso, é uma sessão inaugural que tem, por isso, o nome do nosso congresso, portanto, o treinador no centro do desenvolvimento desportivo. Temos a oportunidade de termos um preletor internacional, Gianni Postiglione. Tenho que depois you have to tell me exactly how you pronounce that. É um treinador italiano de remo com vasta experiência internacional. E Pedro Roque, treinador de ginástica artística e diretor desportivo do COP desde 2018, intervindo na gestão de programas de preparação olímpica. Eu, de propósito, não apresentei muito o Gianni, porque o Pedro Roque vai trabalhar essa matéria de uma forma mais exaustiva e, portanto, peço aos dois que se dirigem ao palco. Gianni, please, with Pedro Roque. I deliberately did not introduce you extensively because Pedro will do the honor.
I understood.
So, Pedro, the floor is yours.
Okay, may we sit then? Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you, Gianni, and thank you to all. First, I would like to thank the Confederação de Treinadores de Portugal for this kind invitation. It's a huge honor and a privilege to be here and to share with you and to have this conversation. This conversation is also a huge privilege also for me as well. And before we start, I would like to make a mention, because this first panel, it has a name. It's called Panel Jorge Brás. Jorge Brás is a well-known coach from Portugal in football. And Jorge Brás, he made a tremendous job. I think we all agree on that. A tremendous job in the Federation of Football, and making us believe that sometimes when we are in a position, the coach can make all the difference. And Jorge made, with all the team in the Federation of Football, they made a tremendous job there and put Portugal in the #1 in the world in futsal. So the first applause I would ask all the audience would be for the name of this first panel, Jorge Brás. Well, about Gianni Posiglione, well, he's a very well-renowned coach in the world of rowing, and he has been working with a lot of countries. He's Italian from Napoli and from the south of Italy, proudly a southern Italian. We have been this discussion in the last few days, and Gianni he started his job, of course, as a coach in Italy, in a hometown, and then he moved for other countries. He has a tremendous experience, not only in Europe. Nowadays, he works with the Hellenic Federation in Greece. For 21 years, I think, he worked with the Italian Federation by 20 years, so he's a little bit more Greek coach than Italian coach. We were joking about this. And then he moved into several countries, like Japan, like South Africa, like Russia, and many others. So he has a huge experience all over the world. So he has a knowledge that few of us can have, to have this experience in so many different contexts. And that's the point. And I would like to thank you, Gianni, in the name of the Confederation of the Coaches of Portugal, to be here. And now I think we will have your presentation, and then we will have a small conversation in the end. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pedro. And thank you, all of you, to invite me in your Congress. And for me, it's a great honor to be here with all of you. And of course, I want to make also special thanks to local authority, the president of the association, and really special to Carolina that contacted me. Sorry if I don't say very good Portuguese, Carolina.
Yeah, it's perfect.
As well, Pedro and Marco, they assist me a lot in this contact with you. And what I can say about the central value of coaches. When I want to understand if something is important, I say, if the world, the countries, suddenly they don't have a coach, what's happened? Imagine one club that from one day another day, no coach. The athletes are there, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to organize themselves. So the role of a coach is really the center, the life of the clubs. And of course, after we see the athletes, and then we see the competition. So from one coach, we develop the sport activity. This is my job because beside the coaching work with the country, with the Greek in this moment, I am also the technical director of World International Federation. And we develop sport rowing in many countries. And the first contact is one coach. One coach is the person that we need as a reference. I have been coach also in Lithuania, and they were saying, okay, these are the athletes, what they should do. And I said, I need one coach, just one that is motivated to be a coach, and then we can try to work together. Because my job is not to substitute Lithuanian coaches, but is to grow the Lithuanian coaches. Because the job of a foreign coach or development coach in one country is not to substitute others, but is to help them to move on from their position. And I find one rower, very young, 30 years. He was not sure in Lithuania. He was not sure what to do. And I said, okay, come with me and try to work with me, because I need one person young that is able to understand what I want to do. Now, this coach, he got until now 4 Olympic medals, because he understood, clever, easy to move, active, flexible, open, because the problem, one word that I will use a lot in this conference, in this Congress, is open mind, and very quick. Now we start together in 2013, and now we're 13 years. It's very successful, and is one of the best coach of the Baltic area. What I want to say, I want to put the coach together with another position, teacher. We are teachers of sport, because it's important that we understand the value of teaching sport. School, sport are the two main base of the society. And I don't want to go too far, but I want to go in Hellenic culture, Aristotle, Socrates. They was putting together sport and school, because the society is based on this. The sport and school, they give the legacy of the future of the specific culture. And this with this mentality that I go in the countries, because I know very well that when I go to one country, everybody want to change. When everyone want to make changes, make good results. But I never go in the country and said, okay, you don't understand nothing, you don't know nothing, now I come and I solve the problem. This is the most stupid activity that one coach can do going in a country. Because when I go in any place, I know there are hundreds of years, minimum now, hundreds of years of sport activity. They have their tradition, they have their coaches, their names. Imagine also in US, I am so, how to say, touched by the US, because they have university coaches that if I see the technique they use, I can do this, I cannot say, oh, what they are doing in this club, this university. But they are so famous, they are heroes. They are, say, creating the star of the university. Doesn't matter if we make or not results, because the young athletes, the young people, they need to trust in one person. This is the value of a coach. We need that the people trust us. And if they want to trust us, they must have a good example. So teachers, coaches, we need the people following us, and we must be ready to not to get from them, but to give them. And many times we put ourselves and our families in the second step. So first athletes, and then the rest. Thanks God my wife is not here. Because she complained quite a lot of this. But, you know, we have a kind of mission in the life, and this is also another point. I would like to go to my first, I should go there?
I think so. Yeah.
Marco? Yeah.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, I will step down and then I came later.
Okay, you can stay here.
Okay.
No, because I jump immediately to you.
Okay.
Yeah, stay there. And I need your really good support. I don't know what I'm doing.
Gianni, if you don't mind, I'll go there.
No,
and I
teach
can
me
see.
how to change this. This is the
Maybe
first step.
if I can. Maybe we need some help. I don't know Marco or anybody that could help us here. Okay.
Or maybe you can do yourself. For me, it's no problem. I say just this and you change. Okay, this is also related, when I do this and then we change, we will go on. And one of my name, because for me it's quite fun, one of my name is Wizard. And when I start for the first year to be a coach, I win one local competition in my town. There, my club was mostly 10, 15 years that they don't win this competition. And the first journalist writing an article on me was the Wizard of Posillipo. Posillipo was my club. And then from this moment, I went in many countries. One was South Africa. And South Africa in 2012 in London, they win the first gold medal in coxless for lightweights, first gold forever for South Africa. And in rowing, maybe the only country of Africa winning gold medal. And one writer wrote a book in these four, and they said, the wizard from Italy. So this name is following me, and also with the Russians, that in 2021 in Tokyo, without a very big choice until 2020, where they make a European Championship, in 2020 we were not able even to qualify one crew for Olympic Games. And in 8 months, working with me and this Lithuanian coach, that he speaks very well Russian, they won in 8 months, 7 crew qualified for Olympics, was a record, and 2 crews get a silver medal in the Olympic Games of Tokyo. And this coach, if you can go quite back, if the team manager of the Russian, they said, we sometimes think for a miracle, because miracle is something that you imagine. But what you have done, you have been magic. You invented something that we cannot even imagine, to have 2 medals in 8 months of preparation. So this is a name that is coming, and now I would like to do this. One more. One more. Go up. No, you're good. Okay, good. So one part of magic, because sometimes magic is a nice word. Magic is something that you cannot explain, but happen. These are the results of Greek national team, and I make one research for the results they have done 20 years before my arrival. And as you can see in the international event, World Championship, and the less event that we have now, they have done totally 11 medals, no gold at all. So in 100 years of activity, even before 1984, they didn't make so much. And then from 2005, when I arrived, until 2024, the medals, they jumped from 11 to 201. But with only one Olympic medal in 2004, with the previous, they were bronze in the lightweight double. And with me, until 2004, from 2005, 5 medals, 1 gold, 2 or 3 bronze, and 1 silver. So I think if we want to say the centralized position of a coach, you can see in the results, because in the results, previous results, manager, president, coaches, they were also in this period. And there was also one experimental development effort from World Rowing to try to grow Greece, but nothing happened. Then I arrived, and I understand, because the question is to understand the countries where you go and to understand the people. When I went in Greece, I say, I don't want to make any revolution, because, you know, there is a lot of people, they go and we don't want to make revolution, we want to make evolution. So these nice names. I said, I want to be more easily one tailorist for you. I see that you don't dress well, so you should dress a little bit better. And we adjust a little bit here, we adjust a little bit there, maybe we change some tissue, and you can be acceptable and you can dress well. This is what I have done it. So first of all, I respect their program that is based mostly on the school, and we work with their tradition. The championship was fixed the week after the Easter. They do for many, many years. We left it like this. They make some national competitions, and I maintain also this national competition, but I change the date. So to have these results is mostly based on better organization. Good. So I try to build the strategy with all clubs, and we start with supporting the coach. The first level is to support the coaches in the club. How to support the coaches in the club? First, making clear calendar without changes. So the calendar is this, and we organize the training program based on the calendar. And I prepare with the coaches, Greek coaches in the national team, I prepare the training program for all year with the national and international competition. Because it's so simple, but I can tell you, 100% of the coaches, they were never preparing one plan. They were training day by day. Usually they were doing long distance in winter until March, and 1 month before the events, they start specific preparation for the regatta. They know, because they were all of them physical education teacher, they have microcycle, microcycle, mesocycle, all year of preparation, but not applied in rowing. With my arrival, we do this job, training program. Second step, evaluation test. Every month, the athletes, they do, in all clubs of Greece, they do test. We have an ergometer in rowing. I know that in not all sports they can do ergometers, but we are lucky, we have, and we must use this possibility. So we have tests every month, and all athletes from all Greece at the same time, they make tests and they send the results. So we monitor from the beginning of the season until the national championship, we monitor all athletes and we try to see if we have talents moving around. After this part, this, we say, program done together with the clubs, we try to find the talents and take the talents in the training camps. Training camps, they can be 1 week, minimum 1 week, and it cannot be less, until 15 days. And we work with these athletes. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. So as you can see in these two pictures, I don't know if they are very clear because they are quite small. On the left side, it was Greece until 2004. We have 4 clubs that with activity of these 4 clubs, they were giving all athletes, and all athletes of these 4 clubs, they have done results for all these, we say, 20 years, and they produce 11 medals. With my activity and the organization of all clubs, you can see that the numbers move from these 4 to 12 countries. And you know, the total clubs in Greece are 30 clubs. So the percentage goes very, very fast to 50% of clubs, mostly 50% of clubs in activity. And you see they are spread around. Also 2 islands, that one is Lesbo, another one is Limnos, these 2 small islands near Turkey. They don't know at all that was national activity and international. They don't think they have a possibility for international results. So results is Olympic medals or Olympic presence. So the first step, and you see also in the area of Athens, was increasing much more with the more clubs, and even the south of Athens, and also in the central part we try to increase. Now we have one new activity in rowing that is a bridge sprint, and there is one huge project to have at least 100 islands that will be in this project to develop a beach sprint, because it's much easier in many other places, because we think as I think you think also the same in Portugal, that with speech strength you can grow much better because the sea or the ocean, in your case, give a good opportunity to make strong athletes in this area. Good. So, what we have done it as the first part of this unified program, talent identification, as I said, with the test every month, national curriculum. Each athlete is monitored for all year, and monitoring the athletes is not just the test, but is also the speed of a boat and the speed on the ergometer. Each athlete, I have a big database with all results of the athletes for all training they do it. And then the development of senior rowers. How we can grow with the senior activity and how many years we observe to make a preparation for the Olympic level. And this organization, I think you can imagine, also if the athletes are not so huge number, like it can be in countries like England or say Italy or France, but the number of athletes, we request a lot of time to collect and to make analysis with this database. And this is a base for their development. Then, good. So, we go in one area that there is a big debate. The pyramid of progression for the athletes. What I want to express on this, the athletes, when they are between the second level of school and the high school, the family, the athletes, or different sports, because swimming, gymnastics, they start much earlier, also football, they start earlier. With the rowing, we start around the age of 12 years. They do until the age of 19, there is a sport activity. Is not so much in conflict with the school, the family, they send it, and they want to see what's happened. In Greece, we have something a little bit special because all Greeks are focused on the US American universities, and they know that if they make good international results, the American university call them to go in US. And I can tell you, I am not so happy for this transfer from the high school to American university, because when they are there, they have a limitation of 20 hours of training per week, and for high-level preparation, 20 hours are not enough, because it means that there are mostly 2 hours, 3 hours per day. I don't mean that 2-3 hours is not enough for high preparation, but you know, they count from the moment that they go in the club for activity until when you go out. So it's not effective training, because our effective training is 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour maximum, but the real time for this 45 minutes effective training is 1 hour and a half, because is activation, briefing before to go on the water, warm up, real training, cooling down, debriefing after the training. So this is time. And when you are at university, you don't have all these side effects. Activation, prepare the body for the warm up, and then all the rest. So when you do when they go in US, the performance goes down. And we have seen many athletes going in US and coming back, not in rowing, but in the social life. They said, we have done enough. And I lost also some Olympic medalists or Olympic participants going there. But the family decide, the athletes are happy for what they do. We cannot make any opposition on this system. But what I want to say, that the age of 19 is one huge transition. And this is in all countries. I am sure that it's also in Portugal the same. At the age of 19, finish the high school, they decide, I continue or not rowing. If they understand that they are progressing, they see they have choice for one international possibilities, they say, okay, I will try other 4 years. I want to do until under 23. Because in the upper category, what we say senior, and this is a pyramid, they go only the best athletes, but not only the best athletes of Portugal or Greece, the best athletes of all world. And imagine countries like Great Britain, USA too, Italy, they have huge number of athletes, and these athletes, they stay permanent there for 20 years. So when one athlete that is 23 meet, or 24 years, he meet these giants with years and years of experience, what they can do? They can just understand that and now it's not even possible to qualify for Olympic Games. So the difficulties of qualification for Olympic Games depends from big countries. They have athletes with many years of activity. And we don't have economical support. So also sustainability stop the possibility of progression of countries like Greece, I think also in Portugal, and many other countries. So we have this big gap. Depends the possibility to go on higher level. So the junior are here, under 23 years, senior are here. So how to allow them to go up? I think the decision is very easy. It's with skills, improve the skills of athletes together with the physical preparation, and then results. If they maintain the level of results, they can decide to continue. And I have seen it with my rovers, with, we say in lucky cases, also 2-3 years, when they are really big talent, you can have some good results. But with not so much talented athletes, because I believe that athletes not so much talented, and I will explain what means talent from my point of view, they can have, we say, good results in Olympic. The athletes that I mentioned now is Duskos, is gold medalist in single in Tokyo. And because in Tokyo were some waves, they say, okay, he has been lucky. In reality, I don't think, because the condition was quite uniform for all. He has been lucky because the wind create problems to the big athletes. The average size of the rovers in the single is around 2 meters, between 198 until 203. Duskos is 186, and he won the gold medal. And physiologically, it's not exceptional. These big people, they have around 7 liters of oxygen uptake. Duskos, he has a lightweight oxygen uptake. I don't tell you because it's one question that is worldwide, how much is oxygen uptake? And I don't want to give a psychological advantage to the opponents. But I can tell you, also ergometer is very low. But feeling of both, the training, the quality of muscles are also important. So we are going in one era where it's not just important the physiological capacity, that sometimes they create some delusion, but quality of sport, or quality of muscles, how to say, psychomotor activity of the person, so the flexibility, the capacity to learn the technique and feel what he has to do, the motivation and the fight spirit. These are more intrinsic quality of the person. And this is one of the quality also coaches to understand when the athletes they have this. And you can understand this not in training, but you can understand this only with the competition. So how they train, how they compete, it's possible to see if these athletes have the possibility to be champions or not. Because if we don't have this possibility, or we don't have this feeling as a coach, you see that in a longer run, you can have a delusion, they lose time, and we can say also federation spend money for nothing. So the investment and now sustainability to maintain high level is quite big. So with athletes, we say that after the transition, they must decide, And until now, I have 6, 7 rowers that they are in the group of the seniors. The possibility of selection of athletes in the senior category, I can tell you, every year I have around 20 seniors coming from all clubs, because majority stop at the age of 19 or 23. Not majority, they leave from the club. And now the question, all these golden boy, I've seen how many medals we can have every year. Where they go, this golden boy? The answer is very easy. They realize themselves in the university, in the social life, and then they come back as a master. This is why I said master. So the sport, I suggest all sports to create one master group where, I don't know if it's possible in gymnastics, Pedro, but would be nice. Maybe with the Pilates we can have something quite similar. But with the masters is a very good compensation for these athletes. They realize their life, but they have in their brain, if instead of to stop at the age of 19 or 20, I continue rowing, maybe we can have Olympic results. Especially now, for them, I am a problem. I'm in contact with my athletes of, I can tell you, from 73 until in 1981. We are still in contact. I have 60 rowers that I continue to follow, and they reflect on me themselves. They say, if we are able to follow Gianni, what we can do, we can win Olympic medal. Everybody continue to dream. And when they go in the master regatta, said, Gianni was our coach. And they have one motivation more. This is how deep we go in these athletes, in these kids. And many of them said, I was not able to do good results in my life, but Gianni, thanks to you, I have one good, business, lawyers. I have one lawyer that is he was very close to go on constitutional court of Italy. So people, they have success because they took from the beginning the touch with the society. We are the first people they put in contact with life that are not father and mother, because, father and mother, they decide everything. But now they present themselves with one person they don't know, and they don't know who is he, and they said, this is my coach. Like ancient Greeks, they were to the philosopher, and they say, teach us. Like Philip II with Alexander, he said, go to Aristotle, he will teach you to be a warrior. And it was the truth. He conquered all Asia. I speak a lot about it because when I was a student, I loved the Greek culture. I loved the mythology. I loved the Greek heroes. They are deeply in me, besides the fact that my town is a Greek, is a Neapolis. It means new town made by the Greeks. So my dream, and this is my life. Life is not what I am living, but life is what I imagine is a life. And my life is full of positive inputs, and this is what I want to transfer to the athletes. And maybe I'm trying also now to transfer to you, because to be with athletes, we must be positive. I say always that there are two types of coaches: problem creators and problem solvers. I don't think problem creators are good coaches, because our job is mostly to solve problems. And this is what I try to do. I don't know if you have problems. Maybe I will, talking with you and maybe talking with Pedro, we will try to see if there are problems. Of course, are sport problems, we say not so high, but with economy connected at this time with the sport, I think there is big value from economical point of view. Can you change? And then the next point is the progression of pyramid of coaches. Because I remember when I was young coach, honestly, I don't think that I would like to go in the national team. I want to just be good coach for my athletes. I have no big ambitions for a high level because I know I was not ready. Because I try to be honest with myself. Because to have some responsibility on the national team is very high. And you must know which type of job you are going to do. And I never feel ready for that level. But to be good coach for my athletes, I was very ambitious. And I take a lot of notes on my life. So, first of all, to be a good coach, you must have the preparation to be a good coach. We have 3 levels normally, and we have in Italy, we have also 1/4 level. In Greece, there are only 3 levels. And maybe you cannot imagine, but in Greece, there are 3 levels just from recent time. I think from 2019. So are just 7 years they have the level. Before was just physical education teachers, they go in the clubs and they coach. That's all, not really specific preparation. Now start to be more serious. And then after this, there is one stage, coaches with the skills. The coaches, they cannot have skills if they don't have a mentor. They can have skills, but the skills of their coach, I think, I see from the age, there are young coaches, and this is very good, but we have also coaches with more experience. But we start to coach like our coach us. This is the beginning. And we use the same method mostly until we understand what not to do. And I remember when I was a rower, I know the mistakes of my coach, tension, too much pressure before the races, anxious, and then I try to correct myself because I don't like him. I should not do the same with myself, with my rowers, because we should, as athletes, we should know the weakness of our coaches and avoid to make the same mistake. So the mentor, I think that each federation should have one mentor that put on the right track the new coaches to make the right experience and to have the same and the good organization of their activity with young people. And then the last part is a culture. If you don't update, you are lost. Imagine, also in my age, you said, but John, you have enough experience, you are many years in activity. I cannot stay together because I'm not alone, sorry, I would like. You cannot stay on the top of front coaches, international coach, if I don't continue to update myself. I cannot apply one program. Now I am 41 years in international level, the same program of 41 years ago. In the sport, in rowing, it's not possible. New things, a new idea, a new technology. The technology is changing the sport a lot in speed coach, how to measure the velocity, how to measure the strength on the oarlock of the boat. These things are coming out. Also, artificial intelligence is changing. I don't know if it's well used by all coaches because I said now the target is artificial intelligence. Say this artificial, so they want to have a kind of the way that how good I am, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is intelligent until you make the right questions in the right way. So now start to be too much use of something that is not clear if you can use it well or not. So this is what I think to be top. To be top, you need to dedicate your time for athletes, monitoring, research, statistics, and studies until your brain is active on this area. I think I finish because maybe it's too long because it's not a course of coaching, and I think we can start a discussion together with Pedro.
And applause. Thank you, Gian. Thank you. Thank you for this very, I should say, impressive presentation, because I would say also inspiring, because when we see how it was Greece before somebody arrived, and Greece after Greece, talking about the rowing in Greece, of course, I think it's quite impressive. And we all see the structure, basically what you did to change. However, we didn't see anything about the dynamic of this structure. And normally, we tend to see so many beautiful structures, and it's not that difficult to build something, I should say.
Even better.
I don't know if better, but sexy or appealing to the people. But then I assume maybe there's something, I wouldn't say hidden, but the dynamics of the process probably is the key to the success. I don't know if you agree with me, and the question is, how did you do it?
Okay. I like to make kind of examples. I have one very good friend of mine. He is still engineer of Airbus for aeronautic. And he is explaining to me the technology of airplane out there now. And one day he said to me, Gianni, the airplane, without pilot, they can go very well. And you know, the pilot is the problem of a plane. Because there are, like, I don't know if you remember, one German pilot, he makes so many things on his plane to go down because he wants to suicide, that he spent half an hour before he was able to destroy the computer of a plane and go down. So the automatic flying is possible, but the not well known effect of a pilot create problems. So what I want to say, the systems are correct, but the people involved in the system, they create problems. This is the point. Starting maybe from the coach, the athletes, the management, the president, everybody want to have one slide of this cake. And everybody want to have the big sides of the cake. And of course, this is, for me, the main work to do, to manage the situation and to have the right authority. And this is maybe an advantage of my age, because I remember when I was 20 years, how was the relationship between me and my manager. Imagine the club changed the manager in January, and he fired me in February. He fired me. He said, okay, at the end of the season, you will go out of the clubs. I don't say the club. I don't say nothing to my athletes. I continue to work. At the end of the season, we won the under 17 8 in the Italian championship. I win this, half of these people, they were also in the higher category and under 19. So at the end, this manager, he was my best friend. Because he has seen that we were so successful that he say, how I can kick him out. But people talking around, you know, it's not good. You know this. People around speaking, because there are other people with big ambitions, always beside, and they said, I want to grab this result. I want to take for me. Like a nice toy, everybody likes it. When the toy is not nice, I don't care. So now you are right. The toy is very nice, and everybody say, I have done this. So I must keep low profile and try to be the grandfather of this. Because for me, the problem is another one now, to leave the legacy and don't destroy these 20 years of great job I have done with all Greeks. Because now the risk is somebody with big ambitions want to destroy, to say, yeah, but the new hero. But it's not this. The life is one rope continuously. It's continuously. Rowing will be after me. Sport will be after us. So we must only leave positivity after us. We cannot think, I know that it's difficult to understand when you are young. But when you will be my age, you will understand much more. So after us must be everything positive. You should not say, when I will finish, everything will go down. I don't feel well for this. Now I am working to live from where I am, and everything will go smooth, and we continue to be successful. When they continue to win without me, I will be very happy. This is my philosophy.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a very good lesson from you in this chapter. And talking about new generations, because the world continues. With us, then without us, and we have to take care about the new generations, and society is changing. And sport sometimes changes, but sometimes doesn't change exactly at the same rhythm as society changes. And we need young coaches as well, adapted to the new generations and new times. And as you mentioned in your lecture, you mentioned exactly how artificial intelligence is now changing a little bit the way, not the way of thinking in sports, but the way of thinking in general, the way of acting, the way of doing things. And all with this all new technology, what do you think? And I must connect this with your thinking about the problem creators and the problem solvers. Is this more like a problem or more like a solution, these kind of tools right now? And what kind of advices do you have for younger coaches and younger generations?
Okay, for sure in my sport, technology allow huge progression, because technology used by athletes, and me as a coach, I learn this technology. I give the right information to the athletes how to be better in training, how to be better in competition, because the technology now gives a lot of details that we need to know. Not all. For example, I am not agree on the optical, the sense the view, or maybe with the physics we say optic physics technology, because we have a lot of analysis, biomechanical analysis just on video. I don't know how it works in gymnastics. For me in rowing, I see with my eyes something, but in video it's something else. Some details that I see with my eyes that is not possible to reproduce with the pictures or with the video, because the imaging of video are not three-dimensional, they are flat. And when they are flat, the perspective is totally different. For me, the perspective of my eyes depends from the camera, that if you are with the camera up and the subject down, you squeeze him. If you go down on the same eye, you increase the size of a body. If you are down, up, again, another view, the angle make a difference. And also if you stay in the television, if you stay with one angle of a television, you see something. If you stay another angle, if you are in the center. So the perspective of our eyes, until now, they are, for me, are much better than the video. Of course, some big movement can be seen, but not in details. Of course, my eyes, they have more than, 53, 54 years of training. And this is important. And I know also that the machine of my brain can be adjusted, because we were talking yesterday, the one coach, if he see always the same athletes continuously, at the end he don't see any mistake. So we became blind. But also the athletes is blind with himself, because if you continue to show them mistakes, it's not good for brain, because brain don't need always the negativity that you are doing, but the brain need that the athletes see what is positive, what is good, because the effect on the brain is not only one direction, it must be multi-direction. And another point, we coaches, we see, but athletes, they feel. The athletes, when they run, when they make gymnastic, they don't see themselves. We see them, so we speak as a coach, but they don't see themselves. So especially when I see gymnastic make jumps, 2, 3 jumps, or moving in a very fast speed in 15 meters, they don't see themselves. They see only the step in front of them, but their brain is trained to this velocity. Is one velocity that not all brain can do it. When they are in the sky, we say jumping and floating. My brain doesn't know where I am. They know where they are. So how you can train with the video this? You cannot. It's something that they must do it, and their brain must record with the training. So I think in the sport with optic, we just want to make easy us because we do one thing. We go slow motion, and we see slowly what we don't see, because the speed is so high for us. So I repeat, the technology, one point is positive, another point, we coaches, we must learn our quality, and the athletes, they must change, must improve their feelings of what they are doing. These are two main things. In my life, I say, teach feeling to the athletes, because no feeling, no good athletes.
Good, thank you. Well, before taking the questions to the audience, I would like to have one more topic, and it's not so, it's related, but not so specifically related with your presentation, and it comes with gender equality in sport. And gender equality, I think sports is having a big path until we have, for example, in the Olympic movement, in the Olympic Games, 50% of the quota is for men and 50% is for women. Actually, we are having nice numbers. We see the development of numbers of athletes, female athletes doing sports in many countries. However, when we see the numbers of female coaches, we don't see that quick growth. When we manage an Olympic, for example, when we manage an Olympic mission, for example, for Paris or Tokyo, the numbers are quite low. Only 10 to 50% of the coaches are women. But actually, 50 or 51% of the population is women. And as you said, we are not only coaches and technicians, we are also teachers. And when we see the statistics for teachers, we see that it's much more than 50% they are women, and less than 50% are men. So maybe we are missing something here in our systems, because, and normally we tend to see like men coaching men and women coaching women, but sometimes men can be very positive in a women's context, and a woman can be very positive in a men's context. And I come from a sport which is quite normal to have women coaches. And for example, we have here Cristina, which I must say is an example. She will be here in the next panel. And she is an example because she never quit to be a coach and a full-time coach, teaching the way she could. Even though, and she had 2 kids, she has a wonderful family, and she could make a lot of gymnasts. Some of them, 2 of them, got into the Olympic Games. Now she tries another one to the Olympic Games, which is quite difficult. For us, men coaches, we don't know exactly how difficult it is to be a coach, a women coach like this. And and Cristina, she showed the way, and other coaches. In gymnastics, we have some. But I would love to see more sports with this perspective. And I wanted to know about your opinion about this subject.
Of course, I am extremely positive, so I want to just start in the right way with the women in sport. But not just because now is a tendency to say, women are good in sport. I say for my personal experience, my wife was an athlete, my wife has been a coach, and at one point we had some problem in the family because we have a daughter, and she was very small, and my wife, she don't want to go home because she said, one of us should go to the babysitter to take the Francesca. And my wife, okay, if you can go because I have other things to do. And okay, I go and I take it. And this was happening. And we must go, both of us, home because it's lunchtime. They finished the school. Okay, 5 minutes more. So she was so involved in her job that imagine the second kid, my wife, she said, I better don't have it because what will say the technical director? So she was worried that the technical director put her beside. So she wanted to be good in her career as a coach. So after some years, I said, oh, look, we must take one decision. Or I stop to be a coach and I care for kids, or you do it. For me, it's the same because she was really good coach. She is also now. So we should say one of us should change because in this way, we don't do the good of our kids because kids are like athletes. They need time and then somebody follow them. Okay, half a day in the school is no problem, but the other half day is a problem. So she said, okay, I will do part-time job, and I was full-time. I stay full-time. Was an agreement. Maybe she was not happy, but she realized it has to be done. And we go on in this way. Now I have 2 kids. One is in Australia, and is a PhD in physiology of biomechanical swimming. Is with the national team of Australia. Is one of the best college in Sydney. So he's very good in sport, and is crazy for sport. And I have my daughter, she has been rower, now she's in the board of Italian Rowing Federation, loves rowing. Now today is one event for beach sprint, just to tell you. And my wife, she's connecting with me, with my daughter, with my son. She's moving because she's the cable of connection among us. What I want to say with this, the women, they have huge quality. For me, the main quality they have is the empathy. The women don't base everything on muscles. I realized when I was young, I speak with the muscles of my athletes. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do this, I don't see the tension. The women, not. The women, they want to see more the harmony, the psychology of the athletes. They are focused a lot on emotional. We say, the women, for me, have more emotional intelligence. And of course, just because I think I have these qualities too, because, you know, also the human brain, man brain, as well as the woman brain, we have 2 parts. We say the man side and the woman side. So I can tell, don't misunderstanding from sexual, but I have a strong woman side in myself, so I am emotional. But quite recently, one statistic destroyed my illusion, because again, my life is an illusion. Why people are empathic and why people are not empathic. And the conclusion of this research is the people without power are very empathic. The people with the power, they are not empathic. They say, this is what I want, and this is what you do. You cannot do it. Out, come another. So I can tell, I'm a good coach, not power coach, because I'm empathic. So this is the conclusion. And the women, they have a lot this. I must be careful when I speak with my athletes, women athletes. Also with boys, but women more sensitive. So if they have one woman coach, connect with them. But also the boys, they need to have one person with good emotional intelligence, with the good empathy about others. understand when the athletes, they have no good mood, and they should say, what's happened today? He don't speak, she don't speak. You read the face, you read how they walk, you read how they have the head. So this type of person, they are good coach. In reality, this is not a question of sex. This is a question of brain, education, knowledge, read the people. But sorry, this is the job of a coach. So why the woman should not be good coach? If you have this intelligence, this emotional intelligence, you are a good coach, you are a good teacher. So for me, sex is not important for the activity of a coach. And I repeat, for me, the women, they have more quality than men. And I see also my girls, because the approach of sport of boys is much different than girls. The boys, in everything they do, they are stiff and they put power. The girls, they try coordination and rhythm. And these are the two qualities of rowing, coordination and rhythm. Because I am not so strong, but if I make all right movement, I can be good, I can be fast. And it's true. So every person has a specific quality. You must understand which quality they have it, and you emphasize. When you emphasize the quality of people, you find the talent.
Thank you. Well,
but I want to say, okay, I want to say something else. To have a woman in the teams is also important for another thing. It's important that we should change also the education of our kids, because the presence of women for sure is important also for education. Because I remember when I started to be a coach, imitating my coach, I was shouting like crazy, shouting all the time. You don't do things, and I shout more. You continue to do, and I shout more. Until I realized that shouting, because I was not speaking with him, I was speaking with his muscles, as I said before. Speak with muscles, don't solve the problem. But you must have, and then I learned it, that the communication is important. So we must be master of communication. We must understand if it doesn't work to shout, we must change the method. We must use the work of explanation. You must use the work of positive example, or showing their mistake and show them what is important to do. For example, touching part of their body. The athletes, many athletes, when they are young, don't understand their body. For example, I said, the shoulders, where are the shoulders? And I put the finger, these are shoulders, move my finger. And they understand how to move the shoulder, because they don't know, they don't have control. So we must teach them to have the control of their body. This is really the basic things. And also when they are in the boat, I always say, what you feel, stimulate the feeling of what they are doing, or the movement of them in the space. I have done some video showing also coaches what the athlete they see. In reality, the athlete they see only the hands, and they go back and forward. We see all, but they don't see all, they see only this. So give them the different perspective and teach them all this. So shouting doesn't count. And the women, okay, there are also women that shout, for sure. But they don't have this tendency, because shouting is to express your power, or shouting is to express your tension. So you shout because they need to shout, or you shout because you have too much tension inside. And this is the last thing I want to say, that we coaches, we say, with everything we do, everything, also decisions, you should say, is it for me or is it for the athletes? Because many times you must understand that it's for you, and you say, no, it's a mistake. I must care the athlete. So I must work for his interest, not my interest.
Thank you. And for sure, I would have here 1 million more questions, but I must pass the floor also to our audience. And for sure, we will have some questions, and over there we have the first one. So I would thank for you to present yourself and then pose the question as quick as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. By the way, good morning and thank you for the Congress. The panel seemed perfect. My name is Gianluca Pereira, anche io sono italiano, Gianni. Mas também sou português, portanto, italo-luso-argentino, so it's a mix of nationalities. So the question that I want to pose, it goes a little bit on the things that Pedro was mentioning about the problem solvers and the problem makers, and with the question of technology, okay? So it's very important for me to listen to somebody like Gianni that has international reality, international experience, not that many of us here do not have. But the thing is, we've been working lately with a lot of different coaches from different sports, from many different modalidades. I don't know how to say sports modalidades in
Sports
English.
is okay.
Thank you very much. So, and the reality we've been seeing is that many of the coaches, they do have this role to help the youngsters to the development, which is a very, very important role that sometimes they do not have at home, the young sports athletes. Now what it happens is that many of the coaches do not have the financial means to actually perform their profession and their vocation to the best that they could do. We've seen technology in, for example, Formula One or National Basket, NBA, which millions of dollars and euros are poured into the elite performance with partnerships with technological companies as Amazon Web Services. We saw today Google with the Portuguese Football Federation. So my question to you is, with your experience, what is the role that different federations in Portugal, due to your experience abroad, can actually do to help the majority of coaches who are not in clubs that are very well funded and can deliver the means for the coach to do his best work to the community that he helps? So with your experience, piece of advice for our federation so we can learn with some international experience. Thank you.
Thank you for a very good question, and it's a very actual question. Now, is it possible to apply the technology? Because there are some programs that the athletes, they can fill in and put all their results, and you can have, at the end of putting the results, you can have a kind of graphs of what they are doing, and you as a coach, you spare a lot of time. And these programs, they are, I say, quite acceptable, quite useful, and you spare time to put the data inside, what I am doing. But you know, when I make the analysis on my rovers, I have, I don't say in my program because it's Excel, but I have my method to do it that is totally different from these other programs, because they give a limitation on the pulse rate or other kind of, how to say, reference that they can put in the wrong direction from a physiological point of view. But for me are great, because the athletes, top athletes, they have one important issue to do it, the diary, what they do day by day. Because the effect of training is not what you do one day or 2 days a week. The effect of training is all volume, all intensity that you have done in 1 year. And if you want to do this job for each athlete, is a problem. I tried when I was young. I have some diary of all program I have done with my athletes. But you know, after 1 day, I was a teacher in the school in the morning. All afternoon from 2 o'clock until 10:30, I was in the club teaching the athletes. And then, you know, I tried to do some notes on some athletes, not all, because it was impossible. And I tried to do this job. It was killing me, because the morning after, I don't want to go to the school. And I am working 7 days a week since 1973 until now. I work 7 days a week for all year, except some week that my wife, she forced me to go in holidays with her. because I told you, for me, was one point. When I was young, like you, I was very lazy. Believe me, I was lazy. I might say, when I go in pension, I was waiting for this day. And, but the law for the sport, I was involved, and I understood, because the problem when you are young, you don't know who you are. You don't know where is your talent, because each one of us, we have a talent. But we don't know. We must discover our talent. I was lucky, because for lucky, I became coach. And I said, wow, I can be good on this. And I continue to stay. Until now, I'm very enthusiastic for this talent that I have. And I try to continue in this area because I said, hey, look, until I don't find the people better than me and I am not able to maintain this rhythm, I will stop. So going in your position, you are right. The technology can help a lot to spare time. So artificial intelligence take a note for you, and you give the numbers and they make a statistic for you. So this is the artificial, the way that so the coach can make better monitoring of training of athletes. I don't know what is your sport, but for sure sport, because sport and games are different, but also games, they have a lot of numbers with the actions, with the touching balls. So the sport is numbers. Who thinks that the sport is intelligence do not exist. Sport is numbers. And also, I say we have the art of coaching. We have the art of training. And the athletes must have the art of preparing himself. Art, what means? Art, it means apply the culture that you have. You cannot be a great artist without culture. You cannot be a good painter if you don't have the culture. There are painting also now, the painting, they can say the history of that period. So to be an artist, you must have a huge culture. So now the culture is technology, artificial intelligence, capacity to use a statistic, the numbers. And the federation can help creating one diary of all clubs, of all athletes, where you can have the access of your athletes in this big database of federation. We are trying to do this with World Rowing. We have one huge database with the results of all countries. And all countries that want to participate in our program, they put a test on this one, and we check the progression of athletes. And many times I go also in this area, and I make note to the coaches. Your athletes are 4 years that he don't produce progression. He's decreasing. So we cannot support him because we give scholarship to development countries. So we must use data and analysis of everything. And this is sport. Oh, sorry.
Something is
okay.
It's clipping there to see us, and I'm sorry for that.
If I answer to your question. Okay.
And for sure you would have millions of questions on that side, but unfortunately,
one more.
I don't think so. I will, and you know, she is the boss. You know, women here rules. So, and she is the boss. And thank you very much, and thank you, Gianni, for this wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you both for the excellence of your session. And I ask Rui Rezende, Presidente do Conselho Fiscal, para entregar umas lembranças e depois tirarem ali uma fotografia.
Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado. Obrigado. Por favor.
Thank you again
Obrigado.
for everything. Antes da pausa para o almoço, peço desculpa para coffee break, já estávamos a pensar no almoço, queria só dar-vos conta daquilo que também já foi referido, quer pelo nosso Presidente, quer pela Carla do IPDJ, porque é realmente uma parceria entre as duas entidades. Portanto, este estudo de caracterização do treinador português, do treinador em Portugal, que a Confederação de Treinadores está a fazer em parceria com a IPDJ. Portanto, este estudo visa conhecer o treinador com TPTD a trabalhar em Portugal, seja estrangeiro, seja português, é o treinador em ação em Portugal. Este estudo vai-nos ajudar a criar uma série de resultados que visam depois definir futuras políticas que reforcem o reconhecimento da profissão. Nós podemos falar mais para a esquerda, mais para a direita, mas a nossa missão na Confederação é o reconhecimento da vossa profissão dos treinadores. E o reconhecimento social. Constantino falava muito desta questão, o ex-presidente do COP, e, portanto, saúde também aqueceu o atual presidente do COP, Fernando Gomes, desta questão do reconhecimento social do desporto, e nós agarrámos esta expressão dele para o reconhecimento social do treinador. Enquanto a sociedade não puder reconhecer aquilo que é a profissão, tal como reconhece do professor, do médico, não conseguimos ganhar fazer esse percurso que todos vós querem, que é ser treinador a full time. E, portanto, este estudo vai ser muito importante para ganharmos dados e podermos, então, transmitir a quem de direito que está connosco, e mais uma vez agradecemos aos dois, para poder começarmos a trabalhar de uma outra forma e valorizar e reconhecer o desenvolvimento da profissão. Esta ferramenta do questionário demora 8 minutos, cerca de 8 minutos a preencher, é anónimo, pedíamos a vossa colaboração para preencherem, para divulgarem pelos vossos colegas. Nós hoje lançámos um mailing geral, redes sociais, e para a próxima semana o próprio Instituto, também através da Prodesporto, o vai lançar. Está feito através deste QR Code, mas também com links, através dos nossos meios. Está também presente nos vossos sacos, vocês já devem ter percebido isso. E, portanto, queríamos ter criado aqui assim uns outdoors ambulantes. Portanto, levem o vosso saco para as compras, para os treinos, para os clubes, e pedíamos muito essa colaboração, quer as pessoas que estão aqui presentes, quer as pessoas que estão online. E, portanto, isto é feito para vocês, como o Pedro disse no início. O nosso trabalho é aquilo que vocês fazem todos os dias, e assim o agradecemos. Portanto, bom coffee break. Como nos atrasámos um bocadinho no início, vamos tentar encurtar um bocadinho o coffee break. Portanto, aqui uma questão de compromisso, em vez de 11h30, 11h35. Pode ser? Até já.